Sweet. Well, I guess we can. I never know how to start these webinars, so I guess the best way is to just freaking start it.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So usually, well, dude, I saw your work. I think it was half a year ago. I think it was
Yeah,
one of the,
approximately.
yeah, I think it was one of the four. I think it was the formula driving through the city. And initially, I thought it was a pre-rendered um, cinematic, and then I figured out that it was actually all done in Unreal Engine. And in a way, I couldn't believe
Correct.
it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like Unreal Engine got so good at like photorealistic rendering and like creating these cinematics, because people usually think, oh, Unreal Engine is for games, but now it's becoming a legit render engine for most things. How did you
Yeah,
start?
right now even the real time also looks really like close to photoreal. If you use some sort of like Gaussian splatting or maybe scanned locations, even in real time, it can give you like realistic feeling.
Yeah. How
Sorry,
did
go on. I just interrupted you.
No, 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 not at all. How did you, so how did you start using Unreal Engine? Like what was the shift for you?
Well, I have over like 10 years experience in post production and filming because I was doing the DOP, I was doing the color grading for 4 years,
Hmm.
being a certified DaVinci Resolve instructor. So first I was doing like filming, being a first AC, doing the focus pulling,
Hmm.
not like super big projects, but something like of value, which I can be proud of, right? At some point I was just like ending up on working on TV because the COVID and all of that stuff which
Hmm.
happened. You needed a stable job, and like because all the gigs were like canceled.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I was working on TV for about like 3 years, I guess, probably. Yeah, 3 years, and I was just like thinking, yeah, well, I need to shift to something more, I would say, not only profitable, but what can bring me joy, right? So I started learning Unreal Engine. I try to create, maybe like everybody who starts with Unreal Engine, they try to create some environments, play out with the light, do some lumen renders and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So yeah, I was doing the same thing. But at some point, I get the opportunity to get myself the interview in the company for the post production, and they wanted the car guy in Unreal Engine, and was like, okay, I need to learn, how to animate cars. And I learned it in about a couple of weeks, but it was such a painful process. And most of the cars and renders which I've seen
Hmm.
done in Unreal Engine, they were like static cars. And I was so much pissed about it. Like, hey guys, you need to make it move. It's just like it doesn't make any sense if it doesn't drive,
Hmm.
right? So I tried to do it myself. I did it with a chaos vehicle, which I found out to be complete garbage. Like it's cool asset for games. It's just super cool physics, all that stuff.
Hmm.
But making it work in cinematics, it was not there. It's just like terrible working with that and using the take recorder. And I decided, well, I need my personal solution. So I tried, doing the skeletal meshes rigs, other rig solutions, and came out like with my own one. And basically that was a hit.
Hmm.
That's what actually like moved the industry, and like I moved a couple of the companies like, hey, get out of my way, right?
Hmm.
So I forced them either contact me for that
Hmm.
or just get other jobs, which I'm already taking, right?
Hmm.
So this is was like that was my motivation actually to switch from video editor, because editing the video news is, I would say, not only boring but frustrating because it's always the same. You work under pressure, and like the time was really bad because you start at 1 p.m. because there are like mostly no news in the morning, right?
Hmm.
And you prepare everything for the day, and you wrap up at about 9 p.m. And I didn't have the time, to learn something new.
Hmm.
So yeah, I made a push to learn that Unreal Engine, and that actually worked really well.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely one of the leaders in the space as far as I'm concerned. Like your stuff is super cinematic. It feels like it's a pre-rendered cinematic, and um, you can kind of tell that you have that cinematography eye, giving your past experience. You can really see the like how you move the cameras, how you light things, how you even just like composition and everything, you can really tell that you have that cinematography background.
Yeah, that's the thing that I cheat a lot. I really do a lot of cheating on the like color grading stage
Mm,
because of the heaven experience and the color grading. Because those renders which I show you, they don't look like that when they are exported out of Unreal Engine. And
mm-hmm,
this is what I'm also be teaching on the masterclass because I know the tricks. I know how to, actually trick the eye to do that. And making the realistic movements and camera movements and cinematics is the one of the main reasons, like how to achieve this cinematography. Because I see a lot of guys making, great renders in Unreal Engine, in Maya, in whatever like software they would like to use or Blender, and instantly what I see is just like the camera movement is off. There is no motion blur, or motion blur is set up like too harsh.
mm-hmm,
That should not look like that. So this is the main point, of making it cinematic, is to get the believable camera. Pay attention to small details, like for example in this formal video which you mentioned,
mm-hmm,
that there is even the drone shadow.
mm-hmm.
Like you can see that when the drone flies by.
Yeah.
And this is like a small detail, but not a lot of people paying attention to such things, and really making it believable is really hard.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes only with the experience, and having the DOP experience actually helped me a lot at making those believable cameras.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I told you that immediately when I saw it. I was like, you have, I can feel the background because I also come from a DOP background, so you can definitely tell. Um, well, maybe I have a bunch of questions, and I know a lot of people are going to have questions towards the end, so we're going to do a Q&A towards the end. But maybe
Oh, amazing.
if you're ready, you can just, I know you have a small kind of live presentation or like a screen sharing kind of project that uh, you have in store for us, right? So maybe we can just start with that.
Yeah, yeah, I have the one for that's the part of the masterclass which we'll be having. So basically,
Mm,
I will share what I'm preparing for you guys. So there are a lot of things which we will learn during the masterclass for the
mm-hmm.
setup of the car rig and how to move it. So right now, I'll quickly show you what can be achieved like from the scratch. Basically,
Sweet.
I already have the car rigged, so I have all setups which are needed. I'll just let me run the project right now.
Mm-hmm.
Take some time to upload that.
Yeah, I bet. I remember
Okay.
when I was working on Gears of War, it took like an hour
Oh my,
sometimes to open up the project.
yeah, the Gears of War is massive. How much is like the part 4 or 5 was like 150 gigs. It's enormous. It's huge.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Okay, cool. So okay, let me share that quickly. Share the screen. Share the application.
And you said you're gonna show both,
Oh,
right?
nice.
The real time, not today, but in the workshop, you're gonna show Lumen and you're gonna show
Yes,
ray
we
tracing,
we
right?
will be working with Lumen right now. Yes, we will
Mm-hmm.
be doing the Lumen, and we will be doing also the past racing thing.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, that's the car which we have in there, and this car we will be preparing during the masterclass with all the features. Like we will set up so you will have the daylights. You can turn on and turn them off. So this is like day running lights. This all will be available, and this is all explained in workshop.
Mm.
So you can also use the blinkers. So the blinkers will be working for left and right side. This functionality we will also be doing because some of the companies I worked for, they wanted to make some sort of simple cinematic. The car drives in the city, and they really wanted this functionality
Mm.
to show off. And for maybe if you've seen some Mitsubishi commercials, most of them are done, especially Mitsubishi Europe. Most of them are done in Unreal and by this system, including this blinkers and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So basically. We will also have the brake temperature, which will be like burning, the brake heating, and so on.
Yeah,
That's
that looks very
all will
cool.
be showing. Yeah, it all will be shown in the in the masterclass, like from
Mm,
the very beginning, how to assemble this material and how to make it and how to control it with the blueprint. Because I know some people are probably familiar like with Unreal and they know like, hey, you can put the mesh of the wheel inside the sequencer and animate the material itself. But well, it is just like not what you would like to do every time, and especially if you have multiple sequences, you would like it to have it in the blueprint and the rigging solution, so you will be able to animate it quickly each time you add it in a sequencer.
mm,
Also, there will be environment provided. This is simple blueprint
mm,
which like assembled with the static meshes. So this part will not be covered, but we will be doing some sort of this environment. So this is all packed in the blueprint because the blueprint is easier, to manipulate. And if you need to create the longer tunnel, you can just duplicate those things,
mhm,
and bam, you just drag and drop it. It's working really quick,
mm,
and you are able to put the car and basically duplicate this move. If I just put it and make it with the holding by Alt, I can just connect those two and have the extension of the tunnel working here, and I have almost like unlimited length of the tunnel.
mm,
So this will be also provided here. And the quick thing how to animate this car. So there are two options. You can use either spline or the rig works the way that you can actually just drag and drop it into the scene. It has automatic pitch. So if you drag it on there and here, it will be reacting like it's physical asset, but it's not physical asset. It's all about faking physics and simulation because I really tried to work with the chaos vehicle. I tried to work like with the well, obviously when I developed my rigging solution, this is like the combination. This current rig is done by uh, me and Amir, the guy who created the cinematic rig.
mhm,
But the thing is that I have created the rig in the very beginning with no intent to sell in that. But actually, it seems I've inspired some people, with this
with y-
creation,
with your technique.
and
Yeah.
some people figured, yeah, yeah, and some people figured out how to make it, right?
Mm,
So the guy did it, and he reached out to me and said, "Hey, I did that. Can you like give me a feedback?" I was like, "Okay, let's see what he did." Like he did pretty much the same thing what I did. The structure which I created, I was the first person to come up with this solution, and I still keep my post on Behance with this solution with the Bronco video that like I did that. Okay, I was the first person, right?
mm,
And that idea was genius. So the guy understood it, reached out to me, said, "Hey, there's like I'm also doing that. I found few issues, told him about that, and said, "Hey, okay, let's like collaborate on that." And we managed to achieve something even better. So if I go, for example, in the rig, you've probably already seen that,
mm,
obviously, in the preview of the masterclass. So there is like fully functional suspension.
mm,
It works with all the shafts. They are working. If you move the rig, they will be rotating. So if you would like to put the camera inside of it, it is all rotating. It all works. So the springs are springing. The all of those parts are doing their thing. And
mm,
if you do the steering, so we can even show the controllers. And if you do that with the steering, just let me find this part. Where was this guy? Yep, because I already have this prepared here. So
mhm,
if you do the controllers, you can see that the springs are doing. There's like uh, changing of the angle. The springs all works. So basically, this solution is a masterpiece. So
mm,
we made this thing working, and I'm really happy for that because, like, it's better when you have more, people, talented people working on one thing. And as we both, like, came to this solution and being able to create this one, we wanted to, share that with a little bit more of details and provide you with something unique. And this version is the special one. The one which is on the marketplace doesn't have all those features with the suspension, with this wobble when you drag in, or
Mm.
when your car stops, it will pitch forward also. So yeah, these features are not included in the default rig, and this basically solution out of this world. It's just the best thing you can have. I tried other rigs; they are all made on chaos vehicle setup, and it's really hard to make it work or like get the desired result because physics is unpredictable and you cannot make it work as you want. And this solution is really easy for some edits which the client may ask for you,
Yeah.
because first project we did was for BMW. We did like some car driving and stuff like that, and then the client comes up and says like, hey, can we make the car go slower in this turn because it doesn't feel real,
Mm.
blah 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 and so on. And we're like, damn, we need to do that from the very beginning. So yeah, and we tried and tried and tried with Chaos Vehicle, and it was like really painful.
Yeah.
So anyway, with this thing set up, what we need to do is just to create a cinematic. I will be just making a mess out of this project. Level sequence, drive, and I will just show you how easy it is to do that. So I always use 24 FPS, just for the reason because it renders faster. You have less frames to render, and it's much better
Yeah, that's a good benefit.
than
And
30 or 50 or 60 FPS. Yeah,
but also it
that's the
looks better.
benefit.
Looks more cinematic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. So creating the camera here, and you can attach the camera to the car just super easy. So we go there, and on the camera we add, track, attach, and first we need to add our car also to the sequence.
Mm.
Then we attach it to our blueprint. It will ask you to attach for something that doesn't matter because we don't need anything to attach it. So we right click it, properties, none. We just need to attach to the blueprint itself for coordinates. Reset the position, fly out of the car, of the camera, and right now we can just animate car, and you'll be super surprised how easy is that to animate. Just add the track, transform track, get the keyframe here, and somewhere over 77, I don't know. That's just the good value to pass the huge amount of distance in the
Mm.
short period of time. Then we just add another keyframe. We have just two of them, and I don't know, just like drag the card here. Okay, cool, done. Transform that, and you will see that it's already working. Yeah, looks strange, but don't worry because this scene is super simple and we have much more FPS than the rig is using. The rig is using the tick function to perform the actions. If it's going too far and you have more FPS than the update of the rig, then you will run into this issue.
Mm.
You don't need to care about this value when you render because it goes into simulation mode, and in simulation mode it uses the tick of the engine itself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
See, so it doesn't do this weird thing when you hit play.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want the smooth playback in this in the editor, not in the simulation, you just can increase it to 120, and with 120 FPS, it's getting better.
Yeah.
So yes, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
We can go to the very beginning, and then let's put it a little bit closer here. Transform there. Go to the end. Maybe we can even drive further, but that's still fine. Okay, let's put here. Transform it. And after that, you can just animate the camera. So I want the camera to get into the wheel. So for the camera, we also have the transform track, and currently the car is perceived as the null object. So the camera revolves around the car. So the car is the world for the camera currently.
Mm-hmm.
We can also add some keyframe, fly here, just fly further over here, add another keyframe, and going further, we can put it there and make this keyframe smooth because we need the smooth movement first and then it goes slower. I will disable automatic pitch because I don't want the car to jump here and there when
Hmm.
we are playing. I want to make it presume that it's already driving, not starting, but it's already driving. Yep. And then we need to go to the third one, to the third keyframe of the camera and get a little bit closer, maybe like this. Transform it. Don't forget to add the keyframe. So it goes fast first and then it slows down to the wheel.
Mm.
And maybe we can try making the car like feeling that it's braking. So otherwise, either way, we can put also the keyframe here. So it will be going at the same speed because it's linear. But right now, if we change this one to smooth keyframe and increase the time the car passes the distance, so it will go slower. So first it goes fast, and at this point, it will slow down a little bit.
Hmm.
Maybe let's make it earlier. This keyframe here. Maybe even slower. I just want it like really, really slow down. Okay. We can try to make it linear also. Let's see what it happens. Yeah. And to emphasize the break in here, we can add the pitch value. So you just go here, look for pitch. Oh my God, that's a lot of parameters which you have here. So body pitch, it's easier to find it in the rig itself. So we have the rig, body pitch, and we can put here the keyframe. And then it passes the time, add another keyframe, and let's change the value to minus, I think 0.5 will be fine. Maybe even -1 or too much. That's fine. I think that's fine. So that breaks at this point. Should be probably faster. Here it should be the value 0, and here -1. Just keeps dropping there. 0, -1. Yep. And by that time, we can also increase the heat of the wheel. So the heat parameter also is keyable. So we can add the keyframe. So it was brake temperature, or yeah, brake temperature. And increase the brake temperature here by clicking brake temp, here 0, and then it just increases over time and becomes like the highest value. I think the 3 should be working. Let's see if I connected it properly,
Hmm.
because I can't remember for now. Okay, can't see that. We'll figure it out a little bit later.
It does work. I've seen it working
Brake
before.
temp.
There
Yeah,
we
yeah, yeah,
go.
yeah. Here we go.
Oh,
Yes.
that looks so cool.
So yeah, yeah. I believe that should be working in the construction script or in the tick. I need to check this one
Hmm.
first because it works in the construction script, but it should be working in the simulation mode too. But sometimes it may not be working here.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, we'll be able to figure this out and check it out.
Sweet.
So, and at this point, yeah, it looks like that. Yeah, it's really cool. So I would need to stop that for a second and heat temperature. Let's go back to 0. Should be 0 by now, but yep, here we go. You can keyframe all of these parameters. And let's set up the focus. So the focus should be manual focus distance here. Go for focus.
We need depth of
Here we
field.
go. Yeah, we need depth of field. So there are some tricks which I'm using by squeezing, for example, this and that. And then basically going to sensor size and multiplying the height of the sensor by 1.5
Hmm.
to give it,
Anamorphic.
better, like 16 by 9. Yeah,
Mm.
better anamorphic, but 16 by 9, something like that.
Hmm.
It's not the very big squeeze, but yeah. And in that case, you need to increase the focal to something like 70, or
Mm.
like let's maybe make it 50, right?
Yeah, 50
So
is good.
that's gonna be working on. And 1.4 aperture just because we can, right? Then go here, and we will probably change the focal distance because we are getting closer to the car. Here should it be, and the focus. Here we go. Put the point here and do like this. Yes, that should be working. So yeah, it goes, works well. Let's see. Nice. So the car drives and you have the proper cinematic. But that's not everything what we need to do, because it's kind of, dark here, or we would need to do some adjustments for the car basically,
Mm.
or post-production volume. First of all, we need to add the fog, exponential height fog, and make it volumetric. So to give this, moody atmosphere, because it really gives a lot of feeling when you have this one. And what I also did for the shot, because the shot was like in the webinar promo, so
Hmm.
yeah, I need to recreate that one. So, and the second fog density, so basically making it as foggy as possible. Also the car was black, but still it works fine.
Mm.
That's not all. We need to add the post process effects, so post processing volume, and we need high translucency reflections here, high quality translucency reflections. So it will give better reflections on the car glass like this. See, so it really reflects properly as it should be doing, right? So because in some other cases, if you don't have it, the reflections on the glass just look weird, and I wanted to make it really, really pop out. And in the post-processing volume, there are not a lot of things which needs to be done. First, let's make it unbound, so it will be infinite extent and affecting the whole scene at once. I also set up temperature. I made it a little bit colder in my, yes, in my original one.
Mm.
And probably add some grain, because grittiness, just the dirtier the pictures, the better.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I think. Like
Make it
if
worse.
if you have some grittiness, yeah, make it worse, because you never have everything perfect and clean.
Mm.
Maybe for some shots you can make it perfect and clean, but still, like you really, really need to add some dirt into it, and add some, bad things to.
Yeah, lens
So
flares
there
and
actually
grain.
dirt,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, dirt mask. So dirt mask intensity. Look for dirt mask. Yeah, screen dirt. This is the one which we need.
of course.
We will also have some greetings here, right?
Mm.
So yeah, it's passing through the tunnel, looking cool, and that's here in, because we will render this in Lumen to make it fast for the sake of this webinar.
Hmm.
I just go with this all like scene detail, just go high. You don't need like real time, right? Because you're not making the game or real time product which you are going to present to the client. You would need to uh, increase all of these parameters, make it look the best it could. And what I found about Lumen, it just loves dark areas. The
Hmm.
darker the thing, the better, because with path tracing you get a lot of noise. It just sometimes it becomes so terrible that the noiser doesn't work properly. It looks really, really bad, and it just scares you. It looks so bad.
Mm.
Okay, now we need to add some micro jitter to the camera and some shake. So I will create the blueprint class, which I would need to blueprint class here, all classes, and search for shake. We need the camera shake base. Yeah, that's the one. Default camera shake base. Select. Yeah, let's rename it shake. Open it up. Again, it's working for some reason. You need to open it twice. We don't need the location, we just need the rotation. So the rotation, there is amplitude multiplier. It should be something like zero point 0.7. And we need only pitch. So it will be like shaken. Like if you take your phone, it will be not just going up and down. It will be tilting a little bit. So we need that micro jitter, small amplitude, maybe zero point 0.9 or 8. And let's see how it works with the frequency of 15 and trying to apply this shake to the camera. Camera shake. Here we go. That's the one. Yes, something like that, but I think the amplitude is just too big. We need just smaller. So zero point 0.5 probably could do that. Let's see. I think still too much.
Mm.
That was the pitch 0.3. Yeah, 0.5 I put on the rotation here on the global one. Missed a little bit. Forgot my glasses. Okay. Yeah, that looks better. I will change this. I think you probably don't see what I'm changing right now because it's in the separate window and I'm sharing Unreal Engine project, right?
Yeah, yeah, we don't see the other one.
Just to be sure. Okay, so you will see that in the masterclass. And what I like to do is to actually combine the camera shakes because uh, it's not just enough for one camera shake. We did this small jitter. I don't know if it's noticeable during the streaming, but it's just like small jitter. But we need to add a little bit of some extra. So I duplicate this shake and make it with the name big and make some smaller frequencies, but more amount uh, for this sort of shake, more amplitude. And after that, you can just combine and add more camera shakes. And this one is a camera shake big. And that combination should give you more realistic feeling of the camera because it's just wobbling, going there, here and there, just like works much, much better. Okay, so in post-process settings, also what is important is to set up the exposure. By default, there's like automatic exposure, but I really like to make it manual, right? So I can define how I like it. I like this contrast,
Mm.
but we can see that completely lost the details in the shadows.
Yeah,
For that, you have the special parameter inside the post-process volume, which is shadow contrast scale and highlight contrast scale. So we can just decrease the shadow contrast scale and see something in the dark, right? That's much better.
yeah.
Okay, at this point, we actually can render that. That will be a less drive. Obviously, I will cover all of that in like very high details inside the. Can you see the render settings right now, which I'm showing,
Mm-mm.
or not? Okay,
No.
just let me quickly switch it to um, complete screen, so you'll be able to see the screen itself. Okay, go live. Okay, so we're going to do the deferred rendering with this XR or like, okay, Apple ProRes will be fine. Deferred rendering, anti-aliasing, because when rendering Lumen, I think 4 by 8 would be just enough for this purpose. We need some game overrides. We don't need the flash and streaming, and we need to add some console variables because I would like to have better motion blur. So we're gonna go R motion blur quality and let's put it on 4. I believe that's the highest quality. But also what I didn't mention, we need in the post process also set for the motion blur. First of all, we need to set the target FPS, and the target FPS should be the same FPS as you have for your sequence. So that should be 24, right? You need to set it for the FPS which you are rendering the stuff. And here we have the settings 4 by 8, console variables, motion blur. I think we can even go higher because you can always ask Unreal what is the motion blur or like any setting, what is the maximum parameter or what does the setting does. You can just by typing the question ask what it does. And
Mm.
in output log, you should be to see, hey, the highest motion blur quality, very high, is 4. I don't think you can go even with 5, but current, yes, is 4 current settings. So yeah, we can keep it 4 here. Also, we can go with this R depth of field quality, and this is gonna be 5. That's the highest settings. Unreal Engine doesn't recommend using this for game because it's really performance intensive, but we can do that for the render because we still don't need, real time, right?
Yeah.
Even though it already looks cool and fine and it's like already believable, we can just render that right away with these settings with the console variables, game overrides, and Apple ProRes. Okay, so let's see how fast will it go, including the recording. Oh, I forgot one thing which I will tell you right now. So the thing is, because the rig actually, when you do, for example, multiple sequences, right? If you have multiple sequences and each time the new sequence render starts, your car, for example, in the end of this sequence, this car is here, but in the end of another sequence, it will be teleported to the very beginning. So as you can see, even if I do it there, if I quickly go to beginning, it will adjust, right? It needs
Hmm.
time to adjust, approximately 20, 30 frames. So before you hit the render button, you need to, again, I open this one. In anti-aliasing, you need to go into advanced and set up warm-up count and set it to 50, for example. And hit render local. That's it. It will render 50 frames before it starts rendering, and then it just goes and it goes blazing fast, like brr. I
Yeah.
like to say Lumen goes brr. And that's it. You've got one shot pretty quickly. I know it will be having black bars, but we don't care about that. So this shot will render less than a minute. So estimated time is like 40 seconds or something. I
Damn.
know I have RTX 4090, but while it's not path tracing would probably have taken this shot, I don't know, maybe I don't know, even like 15, 20 minutes, maybe less. But I can't judge it like properly because I have like the best GPU right now, which you can offer on the market.
Hmm.
So yeah, this is it. How much
Yeah.
will it take? 1 minute or less?
Dude, this is still extremely fast. Is it? So because Unreal Engine is
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
fast, do clients expect projects to be done faster?
Oh yes, yes, that's true. They actually don't understand that some of the renders may not be fast. Like for
Hmm.
example, if you are using heterogeneous volumes with the VDBs and stuff like that, it takes
Hmm.
more time, even in Lumen. But yeah, they actually say like, hey, we need the car and we need to render it fast. Like for this Aston Martin, we had like about 1 month
Hmm.
to prepare everything. You need to understand that there have been a lot of like teams working on that. Some of the data preparation, environment creation that was also separate. So yeah, it is just not that fast as you want, but it's definitely faster.
Yeah.
You know what? It already looks cool.
Damn.
So yeah,
Looks
it's just like
great. Yeah.
it's and it's Lumen. There's no ray tracing at all. Nothing ever. No ray tracing.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have the RTX GPU, you don't have to worry about that. It's not ray
Re-
traced.
yeah, it's not
Even
required.
that looks cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's not required. So if you have the GTX or maybe AMD GPU, I'm not sure how well AMD GPUs work with Unreal Engine, but still, see, it's just like it's there playing like super cool real time. It works really, really fast. I really love
Hmm.
that. Maybe I missed the lighting a little bit because the lighting in my shot for the promo was different, but unfortunately, I can't open this project because it has some confidential models not related to the project.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
just like testing it. Hey, can I do that
Hmm.
quickly in Lumen so I can show the guys how to do that? So that looks extremely cool, and even for Lumen with this small shake, with this motion blur quality cranked up, it looks already believable. Even like for the games, you can create the game trailers easily. So like getting the job in, I don't know, turn 10 for the Horizon, that is easy to do. You can do that
Yeah.
super quick. And yeah, the clients actually expect it to be done faster, which is surprising. But yeah, You can definitely do that. You can cheat with some shots which are really in the dark. I prefer to go with Lumen because past tracing is giving a lot of noise in this scene. So I can just turn it on quickly for you to see um, how different that one compared to the past tracing, and how the noiser actually kills the. Okay, this to turn this off. Still, it can't get stable image, so probably I have something animating in the scene. Yeah, anyway, the thing is that with the past tracing, there will be a lot of noise from the emissive materials here, and the texture of the ground will be like completely eradicated. So
Mm.
Lumen really loves dark environments. You can go with this photorealistic look with the dark environments, and that will look gorgeous. And you can just edit with this HDRI wheels in DaVinci Resolve to make it even better. But we will be going through the ACES pipeline because
Hmm.
right now it's just like too much to explain how set it up for the ACES pipeline. But anyway, you can edit whatever you want and even tint it a little bit to give them more like this greenish yellow tunnel light look, which I really hate. And I really hate how this yellow light in the
Hmm.
tunnel like this. So yeah, it's just like that, right? So it
Yeah,
just pisses me off, to
yeah.
be honest. But
But
yeah,
it looks good.
that's why I created
Yeah.
those this. Yeah, yeah. But it looks closer to reality, I would say. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, it looks good. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, the quality is great.
So yeah. So that was the quick introduction. We will do much more about that one.
Yeah, exactly. Because even all of this was quite a lot. It's super interesting. Like I use Unreal Engine, but I haven't done any automotive like super realistic renderings before. So I'm looking forward to checking out the masterclass as well. Can you? I saw. So when we were discussing this masterclass, you were saying that you really want to show everything. You know that you were like, this is gonna be 15 hours, maybe 18 hours, like long. Like you were like this
Yeah, yeah.
this
Something about 15 hours. Yes, right.
yeah, you were like, I'm really gonna show everything, how to like my whole process, my whole like workflow. And
Yeah,
that's why
that's the thing. I'm not gonna gatekeep on
yeah.
this one, on this masterclass.
Hmm.
I understand what I'm going for, so I'm not gonna gatekeep you. I'm gonna provide like everything what I do for like this post production process and how to prepare this stuff. What is all concerned about Unreal Engine and a little bit of color grading involved in that,
Hmm.
so you will know how to prepare the data if you're working in a post production company. Because the thing is, which why I got hired to the post production company, not the level of knowledge of my Unreal Engine by that point. By that point, I didn't know it well. Like I did some car animations using the Chaos vehicle, but they just like, wow, that looks really cool. How did you do that? Well, I color graded that afterwards. So I did some tricks and cheats to get into there. And the main thing what they want is the knowledge of the pipeline, what you should prepare, what the format of the files should be, and what those files should contain. So
Hmm.
basically you can easily land the job into post-production industry, because I will also share the insight what is the data which you need
Yeah.
for preparation, and how to pass it to other departments.
Yeah.
For example, for a new compositor to add this like sweet anamorphic flares.
Sweet. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. No, that's awesome. But yeah, also like because we when we were discussing what this masterclass is going to be about and how long it's going to be and how much content it's going to have, we decided to put it a slightly higher price. Just like, you know, I still think it should be more
This
expensive, but I think I just wanted to spend like a few minutes if you can talk about like the content and why we decided on the price, just so people can understand.
look, I really don't understand that. Like, I don't really think that this price is high. This is completely fine.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, you will get a lot of knowledge, and I'm not going to gatekeep you. As I
Mm.
said, I'm going to provide you like with all my tricks, and basically I'm breeding myself rivals, right?
Yeah.
Who are going to, at some point, maybe in a couple of months, get to the level what I'm doing,
Yeah.
right? So this is a huge amount of information. The chunk of information is massive, and it's not something like, hey guys, this is like the tutorial of how to shade the car. Yeah, there
Hmm.
is the part of shading the car
Hmm.
and explaining how the materials work and how to create the materials for the blinkers, but also how to assign them, how to prepare them inside Unreal Engine, how to reassign materials on the mesh, how to make the function which will work, which will make the blinkers work, or something like that. All of these functions are will be prepared there. They will be
Mm.
shown to you. The renders, the thing which I do, the thing which I found out with the hard way, which I calculated myself, like especially the things, for example, with the render, there are specific amounts of samples which you need to get the proper motion blur for the wheels. Otherwise, if you're using like 32 by 32, like by default everywhere, like it's shown,
Hmm.
you will get the metal disc. You will not see the shape right of the disc. All of these small features just make you distinguished from other people who are learning by themselves.
Yeah.
It's not just YouTube tutorial or something like that. It's a hard skill, and the hard skill costs much more than the soft skill. I will not be, teaching you how to talk with the client. That's your like personal thing, which you need to develop this as a soft skill. You can do that by, basically communicating more.
Mm.
But this one, you won't be able to find it anywhere, I guess, right now.
Yeah, I agree. That's why, like, when we started talking about this workshop, I was like, damn, like people need to see this, you know. This is like the amount of information that hasn't been available yet. And also like on at the level that you're producing the work and with the clients that you're working with, is super impressive. And that kind of brings me, yeah, to the clients. How's the automotive industry doing? Like, I know like the film industry is literally kind of just recovering now. Like, there's a lot of job postings, but what's the commercial slash automotive industry? Is that like blooming? Like, what's the state of it?
I think it is blooming, but the most money are from the producers of the mass producers like Volkswagen,
Hmm.
Renault,
Yeah.
Mitsubishi. Those Mitsubishi and Renault actually the same company. Sorry, so bad example. Yeah, so Volkswagen, like Volkswagen, Audi Group, those major car brands who produce a lot of like general usage cars, right?
Hmm.
That's where the money is. They use Unreal Engine inside. Uh, I can't talk more about that. Okay, so
Hmm.
they do use Unreal Engine.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
thing. Hyundai also uses that. I actually traveled to South Korea to teach Unreal Engine for the guys in Hyundai.
Wow.
Some electric car brands. Maybe if you have seen also this commercial of new Lotus Elvia, I don't remember the name of that. That
Mm.
was also done in Unreal Engine. And I think that was even I may be mistaken and speculating right now, but I think this commercial was also on BAFTA for the most like creative commercial like advertisement movie,
Mm.
and they probably won that. I just I need to get my information. I know that some Lotus commercial got there, and I don't remember there were two of them. The
Hmm.
one which were done in Unreal, and the other one was like mixed with there's also some real time footages, real short footages. So I think that it is really blooming because a lot of companies are starting to prefer Unreal Engine towards the VRAD because the preparation for the showcase. So basically, if you are presenting the new product, new design, you need to prepare that and you need to go and to show that to management, right? And management right now wants virtual reality. They want to sit in the car. They want to look at the car. They want to look at the car at a real scale. They would like to put on this new Apple glasses and
Hmm.
watch that and standing here in AR. And this is possible to create because currently I'm working for the automotive company.
Hmm.
I can't share like a lot of stuff, but what I tell you, people prefer Unreal Engine, especially management, because it's really good looking. You can show them the car fast because they can just like export the data from VRAD, give it to you in Unreal Engine. You can quickly shade it, prepare that, and put the few cameras or have the already prepared setup. you can pack it into executable file and send it to the management. And you don't need, to show, present anything. You just send it. They create the screenshots themselves and say, hey, fix that one. I don't like this line. I don't like that. And send it as the feedback to you.
Yeah.
That's it. You are happy here. Okay, you can give it to CAS, CAD designers or like the engineers to fix those issues,
Hmm.
and they will be doing that. It really works well, fast, and much more efficient than with VRAD. And Unreal is still free if it's like 5.3 version.
Yeah.
So you can be stuck there probably forever. But yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, definitely it is really good thing to use. And if your company having like one Unreal Engine license and it's paid for 5.4, it is still fine for the company because VRAD is like super expensive,
Hmm.
like insane amount of money,
Yeah. So you think
especially for the companies.
so with
I think Unreal Engine will be keeping doing with this automotive industry.
yeah.
It's getting better and better. The real time is getting better and better. Lumen is just like receiving more and more updates, and it looks just phenomenal. In this new Lotus, by the way, they have Unreal Engine installed in the car, and you can rotate the car on the touch screen and see
Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
car.
Oh, sweet. Oh yeah, so in the car they have Unreal Engine running the preview of
Yeah,
the car. Yeah, yeah,
exactly. Yes.
yeah. That's awesome.
Uh,
Yeah. I think now is like a really good time if people want to switch to Unreal Engine like from other 3D softwares. I feel like Unreal Engine has matured uh to the point where like like I said, you can really export and render almost like real time high level like cinematics out of it. Like it became like a really, and I've seen some awesome short films coming from it as well for filmmaking. uh my
yeah,
friend my
yeah.
friend Sava, he's doing like amazing real, it's not real time but just like using Unreal Engine to create these super cinematic short films. um so yeah, the stuff you're going to be showing is applicable to other industries, short films, filmmaking in Unreal
Yeah, I
Engine,
think
anything like that.
like in terms of like environment and lighting, you'll at least get familiar with what are the settings, what like each thing does, and how to set up the light, and basically how to the thing with filmmaking different from the games because only you decide what you show the viewer, right?
Hmm.
So you can really cheat a lot here because in the games you need to create the full environment for the player to interact with. But here it's much easier, but it will give you the insight. It will give you the opportunity to use the different light techniques, how to remove the reflection of the light because sometimes you want just to light the car, but you want to imitate the polarizing filter, just remove the reflection just to make the car pop up.
Yeah.
And those are settings which like you need to go through the every setting to find it, right? So yeah, we'll be giving some also advice on that one and how to split the channels and all of that for the lighting setup. And we will create those simple minimalistic environments which are for some reason I don't know right now are really getting the trend.
Hmm.
Everybody does them. Polestar, Mercedes,
Oh, you mean just like white walls and
Volvo,
everything?
Volkswagen. Yeah, yeah, white walls. Like the thing is, they just want to make the car the protagonist, right?
Yeah.
And this is what they desire. And when you come with to the company with that kind of the portfolio, like for example, you go to the Polestar and say, "Hey, I can do this," right? And you just do this minimal stuff using just like the Quixel bridge and all of these things, and they will probably hire you because and if you can do that fast, that's really the thing.
Yeah, I agree. I'm looking at the chat. People are obviously talking about AI. Uh, and
Oh, that's fine.
yeah, and people are asking, "Oh, do you think, it's this is do you think Unreal Engine is worth learning now that all the AI stuff is coming out?" And honestly, I
Yeah,
think
I can give you a simple example of that one.
yeah,
You create the video with this Sora AI
yeah,
of the car driving on the street, and then the client says, "Hey, can you make the car slower? Can you make the car turn left?
it's
Can
just
you can we change the camera angle? Can we change the focal length to
yeah,
35 millimeters
yeah,
f.14? And can it be anamorphic? And I don't see the guy inside. Can I see the guy, please, inside? Why it is a girl? Can you make it a guy, right?"
yeah,
And so on and so on. there will be so much like inquiries from the client. I don't think that AI is a bad thing. I'm using that for creating the inspiration. For example, I really like to go there and type, "Hey, give me a minimal environment, minimalistic environment with the bright sunlight, orange sunlight, in the like a minimal environment with dark stone," and it gives me the cool picture which I can recreate in Unreal Engine, put in their real car, and prepare that one. That looks really, really good, and making those AI is just like really good for searching the references.
Hmm.
Maybe it will give you something new, but it probably won't because it's learned on something which already exists.
Yeah.
And you get probably the good eye, good composure, you can have it, but still you would need to create it by yourself and you have much more control. Maybe like in 10 years, or how fast it is going in 5 years, it will be more stable and will give you more control. It will be able to create 3D scenes, but still, the example is if the car manufacturer produces the car with a specific, you won't believe how many meetings I have when the management is just like, "Hey, I want this specific line to be seen better. We need to show the shape of the car," right? It will be really hard to explain to AI to make it brighter or something like that. And we just gave the renders to the like retouch for the Photoshop retouch,
Hmm.
and they fix it. And there is a lot of Photoshop.
Yeah.
Sometimes data is not mature, but you want to make it look more mature. There are, for example, no lidar scanners, or there's no parts. There something is missing, and they will add it on Photoshop. So yeah, it depends. The AI is a good helper, but in 3D, it's just not there yet. Maybe at some point we will see. But anyway, when you at that point in a real engine and doing something cool in 3D, you will be the first person to learn an AI and make it work as you want,
Yeah.
which will give you the benefit because you already have the experience and you know how the eye should perceive the good image.
Yeah. I think what I'm saying is AI, like if you, let's say you're starting out as an artist and you're thinking, oh, I'm just going to learn AI because AI is going to take over or whatever. AI is literally robbing you of your artistic journey. And as soon as you, if you don't learn how to be, if you don't learn how to build your artistic skills, your artistic fundamentals, AI is not going to be able to help you, and you will not be able to use AI in the creative ways or unique ways. So learning and having your artistic journey is always super important. So and also
Yeah.
if AI actually right now, like everybody's like, oh, AI this and AI that. I haven't seen a single good example of AI doing anything remotely useful for any client. Not,
Commercial usage. Yeah.
yeah, not a single one, and it's not even close to being useful. So I don't know what people are even discussing about. What are they seeing that I'm not seeing? Like I'm literally educating myself and checking everything. I, if I had a studio right now, there's not a single thing AI could do, except maybe if you're a director, it's good for concept, like you said, like bringing ideas on the table. But even for that, I would much rather hire a concept artist or a storyboard artist. That's me personally, because I worked with good storyboard artists before, and I worked with good concept artists, and I know they can produce better results faster than what you can do with AI. Obviously, AI is more convenient because you have it installed on your computer, but still, like in a studio environment, having a concept artist is usually better. But Epic is a multi-billion-dollar company. They're not gonna let some AI generative image model take their industry away. So Epic is gonna do everything they can.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
basically allow to build in the stable diffusion into Unreal Engine.
yeah.
And it works really cool because you can put, some 3D objects and just generate, for example, your house design, right? You can
Mm,
put, hey, this is like the size because Unreal is using centimeters. You can quickly like uh, measure your room and put some stuff there like table, some chairs, and use it like basic shapes from Unreal. Say, hey, can you give me the result? Well, cool. That will give you. There's the window. There is all that other stuff. You'll get the proper like stable diffusion model. It's working there,
Mm.
but it's again for steels. I don't believe it will just give you the picture. It is steel, but working with the 3D with AI, it's not yet there,
Yeah.
unfortunately. We'll see how it looks like.
I lost my microphone. Wait, give me a second. This happened before to
No
me.
problem.
I don't know why this happens. I'll be back in a second. We're gonna cut this out for YouTube.
And I'll be reading the comments.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do people say? Clients are clients when you're doing paid work. Yes, that we can agree on that one. Either high or small range, they still want it cheaper and quicker. Yeah, that's Jim. That's true. Yeah, yeah, super right about that one. Uh, okay, so the people are asking. Oh, Matt's still asking the same question already, like third time, I guess. Will we be able to work with you if we were get close to your level? Because I know this industry is not that easy to get in, to get hired by these big companies. Yes, yes, definitely. I have some people who are doing, for example, environments at the high, really, really high level. Because I can do car and car preparation, car animation, car cameras by myself, but I really need the people who will be able to create
Mm.
the environments and some other, like maybe VFX, or especially right now, I'm looking for uh, some sort of Niagara specialist who will be able to produce the Niagara particle systems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Mic drop.
Mic drop. Yeah, but
Mic
it
drop.
went up.
Yeah.
This is the second time this
Oh,
happened. Yeah. No, because the I have
so
an
so that's the mic up, mic not
yeah,
drop,
because
mic
it's on
mic
an
down.
arm and sometimes it like it screws the screw gets loose and it just freaking
Mhm.
catapults up. It's fine.
Oh, okay. Now I'm afraid about one
Yeah.
my microphone if it also goes up. Okay. How many hours or days will the course last? I don't know. Take it at your pace. It will be approximately 15 hours. And take it at your pace. Just learn it. Get back to it if something is not working.
Mm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, 15 hours is quite a lot. So it takes a while to go through all to like check all the material and then actually do it on your own and then apply it on a few different projects. You know, it takes sometimes it takes a few months to go through 15 hours of course material. So don't rush it.
Yeah.
Take your time. But also like this workshop is also for experienced people. Um, it's not for beginners. It's mid to advanced. So um, some people are gonna
Yeah, you
work
just need to
faster than
know
the
the
others. Yeah.
at least at least basic knowledge of the Unreal Engine, where all the instruments are, like what I'm clicking. If I'm clicking on the and saying that like, hey, I will open material instance right now, so you know what is the difference between material and material instance, all the basic stuff, which is like really you can learn quickly in about, I don't know, maybe a couple hours, but get familiar at least with the engine itself, with the interface.
Yeah.
Other features are just fine.
Yeah. I don't have any other questions, so if you guys in the chat have anything else, I think we can take
Oh,
another 10 minutes for
okay.
Q&A.
Uh,
Otherwise, we're going to be
I will
wrapping it
take
up.
I will take over on this one.
Hmm.
Okay, so could you talk about Alt is asking? Could you talk about the workflow when you work with the team, like back and forward
Hmm.
for environment here? Uh, I don't need to just work with them. I have the people who I worked on the previous projects who I know well, and I already know these people. I just cannot say, hey, I would need this environment with the road going here and there. I would need some details and some grass. I will be using this and this point of the curve. So make this more detailed than the rest of the track, because I will be using this one for the close up and I need the higher details here.
Hmm.
And when I get the preparation, I check this track. Basically, they send me, for example, first one, the iteration is just the track So I can, okay, imagine here I will place the car, here I'll place the camera. Then they send me the details. And if there is something I need to add, I just let them know. They will upload the new one version. I will just replace the level. That one is like for my personal, like small projects. If the project is bigger, we are usually using the Perforce, and it is updating on submission. So you click submit and you submit the changes.
Mm.
That also supports versioning, but the Perforce is not free if you have more than 3 or 4 people working, and it's extremely laggy sometimes. So it's quite hard to work with this one. Okay, the next one. Question on the course. On the rigs and tooling, what you included in the course in terms of assets was just content explanation for those of us that are a bit advanced and work in Unreal Engine. So I'm including the rig for this blueprint of the rig, also the blueprint of this tunnel, the environment of this tunnel. Also, there will be environment in Legendary Edition. That's the complete racing track of the Nordschleife racing track,
Mm-hmm.
and in terms of assets, but I think it's not the assets what you're looking for. You're looking for the learning basically,
Mm-hmm.
and getting the familiar with the settings, exports, imports, data preparation, how to take your model, how split this model inside of Unreal Engine, how to assign new material slots in Unreal Engine, not jumping back and forth in Blender to Unreal or my Unreal because it takes a lot of time, and Unreal may bug when you import if you change the number of materials on your car mesh. And when you re-import that mesh again, you would need to shade it again and lose hours of shading. For example, if you're working with the high detailed CAD data where you have 70 materials in one model, which is just like super time consuming.
Yeah. Because you can, what
Okay.
you're going to be teaching is something you can apply on any asset that you can then get on your own or
Yeah.
from a client or whatever. That's the
Yeah.
important bit. But the assets we're giving you,
Basically, yes. Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be enough for you to learn on and get good results with those assets, but it's not really about the assets usually.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not about the assets. The thing is, like, we're learning. I'm I'm rigging 2 cars or even 3 cars. I don't remember already. I'm rigging 2 and 3 cars in this course, but I'm showing you how to rig the car. Basically, one of the worst case scenarios which you have when you receive the data. So the materials are not properly merged. The material is like just like looking not good, or it's split different ways, or you can't reach something in it. And for example, you have the calipers where it's like written something on that, the brand of the caliper of the brakes, and you need to flip it over so it will not flip the writing on
Mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm.
So all of these things which you get with the problems of rigging the cars, which may happen to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to explain and to recreate the situation. That's why we are downloading the free model from Sketchfab, and you should do that too. You should try to work on these free models because most of the time they're really poorly prepared, and you need to make them cool,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's the thing. The main point is to prepare the rig looking cool and the car looking good, and after that, so we are doing some additional features. So yeah. Okay, the next question is what will the course be available to later? Will the course be available later, or is it like now and then it's over? So, Urban, that's probably a question for you.
No, it's so with all of our workshops and master classes, we're going to be running them 4 or 5 times per year. So it's going to be opened now, then we're going to close it for a few months and then open it up again. So our workshops are going to be seasonal, opening and closing. So, but
Mm.
we're gonna be very loud about it, so everybody will know when we're opening the workshops and when is
Yeah,
the last time to apply. Uh, so yeah.
yeah, cool. Next question by Matt. Can you change shading inside Unreal? Because actually, I fix shading in Blender and then send the file. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You don't have to send the car back to Blender. You can reshade it in Unreal Engine. It's not that comfortable, I would say, as Blender. It has a few tricks, but it is definitely can be done, and I'm showing that in the masterclass. I'm showing how to assign new materials for the blinkers, for left and for the right side, make it separate materials, and make it work via the blueprint when you put the tick turn left or turn right. So yeah, the car doesn't have the material, and the whole process is like you will be going with me. So from the downloading the mesh,
Mm,
putting it in Blender, splitting that, then putting it in Unreal, and preparing it all over again. So yeah.
sweet.
Okay, other questions. How did the collaboration happen for the Aston Martin? That is actually a very interesting story. So, the director, Alistair Clark, sh- he saw my video of the McLaren commercial. I basically remade his movie
Hmm.
in Unreal because I saw there a few like typical things for Unreal in his movie, and I was like, wow, that looks really cool. So I posted that. I posted that on YouTube. I posted it into Instagram. I made the breakdown, and when I was making the breakdown of how I did that, he actually wrote to me to Instagram and said, hey, dude, I would like to collaborate with you. You've done a really good job on this recreating of McLaren commercial. Let's jump in. I will get back to you when I have something new. And he got back to me with this project of the Aston Martin.
Hmm.
I couldn't talk about that before because it was under NDA, but right now everybody is just like it posted. Everybody knows who did that. So really, he was really happy working with me. I'm really happy working with him and with all his team. Phenomenal people. They're doing a really cool job. And what was my main role in this project? I can't talk too much about the
Specifics.
details of this
Mm.
project, but yeah, specifics. But I was also doing the technical part, really, really important technical part, because I'm like famous in the post production companies here in Prague for developing the pipelines. That's the
Hmm.
thing which I do the best. How to adapt, how to connect like Maya with Unreal, Unreal with Blender, how to connect the Houdini with Unreal, how to feed the Houdini environments to Unreal Engine, and so on and so on, and how to pass the final renders to composer that way that he can compose it with the real footage, because we also did some background replacements like matte painting with Unreal
Hmm.
Engine.
Hmm.
We also did that. We also composed that in Nuke, and you really need to know how to prepare that and send it. So I'm developing pipelines and I'm showing you the pipeline. It's not something like, hey guys, I will be just showing how to shade the car and drive it by. It's not just only that, because you need to understand that the more you know of the pipelines and how to work with other teams inside the post production company, the better.
Hmm. Yeah. So are you booked for the whole year doing commercials now?
I'm booked until May, and more to come.
Hmm. Yeah. So there is a lot
So
of
yeah,
work in this industry, especially if you're good.
that's insane. I can't like, I barely found time, so I needed to take
Mm.
vacation from my job to record this masterclass,
Yeah.
because otherwise I would be just like completely full. Like just I
Mm.
wouldn't have time to sleep.
Yeah.
There is a lot of things to do. There is a lot of work, and you will see a lot more from me posted like in the recent months. So yeah, that's gonna be intense. So I'm barely alive right now.
Awesome. Cool.
Okay, what are the other questions? Do you think it is worth it to create an environment template with sequence template to sell animation to client? Uh, yeah, probably you can do the template and just replace the rigs and just drive it by. That's actually good idea to be done too. Okay. Did a collab made you blow up in terms of visibility? I think that it was not the collab which made me blow up. It was the first McLaren video.
Hmm.
The video with the formula. The video with the formula got me a lot of clients, and probably if you heard of Miles Cable, the one who made this first Aston Martin, not Aston, but sorry, Alfa Romeo commercial, this Unreal Engine 5 cinematic, which has almost 1 million of views right now. That was one of the first one done in Unreal Engine completely and on this high level. And even Miles Cable reached out to me, and I worked with him on another project. You will see. So it's going to be posted soon.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was the start of the year. It was absolutely insane. Yeah, and especially I managed to squeeze travel into South Korea into this working schedule.
Hmm.
Do you need any skills, or is a beginner with experience in the field of motion design sufficient? Is the GTX card enough for rendering? Edison, so you would definitely need some skills, at least basic knowledge of 3D, because I think that if you don't have the 3D experience, it was really painful for me to enter this, 3D journey because I didn't know anything about the 3D. Like, what is normal map right now? That was my Google search question, and I'm really ashamed of that. So when I started, the Google was full of that. What is roughness map? What is UV map? So yeah, anyway,
Hmm.
you would need at least some 3D experience. This class is from mid to like advanced, I would say.
Yeah.
The GTX card depends on which GTX.
That's what I was
Probably the
asking.
GTX
What GTX
9,
card?
960,
Yeah.
960 won't work.
No, it's going to be very tough. Maybe 1080, 1080 would be okay, but even that, GTX, that's really old now, right? That's like 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, I built a PC for my colleague recently, and we found one of the best cards, to start with, and which is like really kind of cheap, I would say. That was 3060 with 12 gigs of VRAM.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That is a
So
good one.
3060, and the more VRAM you have, the better for Unreal Engine because it chunks everything into VRAM when it renders.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay, let's do like 5 more minutes of questions, but then we need to wrap
yeah,
it up.
five
Yeah.
more minutes, and
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah, so probably in like 9 minutes we can finish it. Which do you think is the best workflow for commercial project to start to finish, and what group of software you would use apart from Unity or Unreal Engine? Uh, that depends on the project. I can't give you the example out of my head. I've been on a lot of projects, and really, I need the description of the project. I'm not, going to give you the ballpark without knowing what is going to be done. Uh, you may have seen the Impossible Objects video about VR Studio for company. Is it something company would trend to prefer, or they totally different? Have an IRL car with a blue screen instead of blue full OE5. It depends. It depends. Like really, I'm not sure about that. I've seen some Impossible Object works, but I think they film at Nantes or something like that, or Hyperbole. As for example, the Genesis, which I worked for on the project, was filmed in the Hyperbole.
Mm.
So either Nantes or Hyperbole in Berlin. I think I don't remember where it's Hyperbole is. It's in Germany definitely,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
maybe Berlin. I don't remember.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. The mentioned Nantes and the Hyperbole. Yeah. Any
Cool.
more questions, guys? We have like I think four more minutes.
Last calls for questions. But yeah,
Last call, right?
but I'm super excited. I'm really like when I was editing the promo, I told you this is the easiest promo to edit because all the footage was looking amazing. And I was super excited to release the promo because it's like really I haven't seen that level in a workshop yet, that level of work. So I think people are gonna love it.
In your opinion, what is the meaning of life? That's very hypothetical question.
Yeah, we can do
For me,
another.
is to enjoy the life, and I think everybody should enjoy the life
Yeah.
and do what you love. I'm doing what I love, and I'm pretty happy. Most of your commercials project, like Barry, I never left my house except traveling to South Korea for the workshop.
Hmm.
I never left my house. I'm locked here. Please let give me some project which is outside of my apartment.
Send help.
I never. Yes, send help. Send help. They're all done remotely. I'm sitting there with my PC and I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
The last time I went somewhere was South Korea, and it was last year.
How
Mm.
was that? How was the training in South Korea? Was that cool?
Wow, the guys there, they're just insanely fast. They're super smart. The workshop should have taken 5 days, but it took four.
Yeah.
They're just super fast. First of all, they have experience, like a lot of experience in 3D. They use like a CAD software, they use Maya, they use Blender, they use everything. They're just like super fast learners, and I think the whole culture is about learning and learning something new. So yeah, they were really really fast learners and really cool. Like working with them, very interesting. I would like to go there again
Yeah.
someday when I have time. Out of my projects, let me out of my apartment, please.
Yeah. How was that? What
Can
was
you
your
give an
role?
idea?
Was your role to
Uh,
like
I
teach the whole team how to do like what you're gonna show in the workshop and stuff like that?
how to do the renders? Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes. Basically, what I'm showing in the workshop: how to do renders, how to prepare them, how to color grade them, and how to prepare them for the Photoshop retouch too. Because they want it in Unreal Engine, especially for the how fast it can be prepared, the cars, and how fast it renders.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Awesome.
Matt, I will give you a ballpark of my work, like how much I'm getting paid on the commercial, like Aston Martin.
Mm.
I really didn't want to talk about that, but I'll give you a range for my projects
Mm.
depending on how much work I do. Uh, that's starting from 15,000 euros.
Mm-hmm.
And the projects are about 2, maximum 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's average, I would say.
Yeah.
If
I'm pretty
something is
sure.
faster and shorter,
I think you could
yeah,
charge more, honestly, because you're working for multi-billion dollar brands and the level of work is so high. Honestly, I would say 2x
yeah,
it.
it really depends. It really
Yeah.
depends. So if you go in this masterclass, you will learn, then you will practice for a couple of months. You'll probably be able to create the same level of quality,
Yeah.
and obviously you won't be able to charge that amount of money right ahead, but you'll be able to get in nice, decent paychecks,
Hmm.
and this masterclass will be paid off like by your first work.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very good point. That's what we were discussing before when we were talking about price. And I said, well, if you spend 1K on a workshop, but that workshop gets you a job for 15K, it kind of makes sense to take the workshop, right? Like the return on investment is insane, especially because you only have to pay once for the workshop, but you will continuously be getting clients
Yeah,
for the foreseeable future. So it's a good investment for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely it is. Another question about proposal, or you tell them how much you want. It depends. It's always the negotiation. It's never like,
Yeah.
hey, we have this amount of money to throw at you. It's never like that. It really depends because there are a lot of departments involved, some creating the environments. Maybe on one project I have the responsibility only for animation, and another project I have not only animation but the car preparation too, and maybe some color grading or additional supervision, because right, as I said, I worked as a supervisor for developing the pipelines and basically making the process, work. So if I have some supervision, I will also charge extra for that.
Yeah.
It really depends, and it's always negotiable.
Yep.
It's never like, hey, we will throw that amount of money at you. Are you willing to get this money and work, or you want to have more about that? So yeah, really depends.
Sweet. Yeah. Dude, I think that's it. I think we need to wrap it up.
Yeah,
we can we can
yep,
maybe do another one later. But I think for
yeah.
today,
I
yeah.
will probably, yeah, I will be happy to do another one, but
Hmm.
currently, I'm, I'm currently having a vacation. So this week, no, next week is not possible.
Yeah,
After that, until
vacation.
May, I'm
Yeah.
fully booked.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm spending vacation for the preparation of this workshop,
Hmm.
guys. So please be sure that you're taking that one, and that I didn't waste my time for that
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
didn't take any projects. Yeah,
Well, dude, thank you so much for hopping on this webinar. Thank you so much for making the workshop. I'm sure people are gonna love it. And yeah, let's. I'm gonna let you finish recording it, and then we can post it as soon as possible.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. Thank you, guys.
Hmm.
Thank you for your time. Thank you, Urban, for having me here.
Yeah.
And have a nice evening.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.